Hi guys, this is Edo Kami-sama. This is part 2 of my interactions with the police. This video is in reference to the recent shootings of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. Two gentlemen who were innocently gunned down, broad daylight, and there was video footage. Okay. So I would like to connect the dots with my experiences to that, so that you guys can see that, kind of give you a background, okay, a background to all of this. Okay, so situation number two. Situation number two. I was in my home. It was 12 o'clock, I think, maybe 12 o'clock. No, I think it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was close to becoming dark. And I was sitting on my couch watching TV. I hear a loud knock. I open the door and there are two police officers. There is one police officer with a flashlight. Okay? And he's asking questions. Do I have a girlfriend in the house? Is she with me now? Have I been in a fight? And I'm thinking, wow, these are strange questions. Why is he asking these questions? And as I'm asking these questions, they explain that there's been a call about a domestic dispute. But what's weird is their demeanor is the typical good cop, bad cop, but mixed with a little bit of condescending. Being condescending. So it's kind of hard to tell from somebody who's an outsider looking in, okay? Now, as I'm explaining to the police officers that there's no female in my apartment and that I'm not with anybody and that I'm not fighting with anybody at this moment, I'm met with skepticism. One police officer, he steps up closer to kind of lean in to my apartment to look around, even after I confirm that there's nobody in my house. Okay. So, and side note, in this area, the police have made it a talent of unlawful entry. Unauthorized entry. They will do it in this area. Okay, they will walk in if they feel like it. They'll do it. I have another story to tell you that proves just that. Okay. Now, at this point in time, I'm kind of freaked out and a little nervous because just in my last video, I was pulled over by a police officer. Okay, for no reason. He found a reason to pull me over. Okay. And then I have two more police officers pulling me over. Now, this area is predominantly white. It's considered suburbs. Prior to that, it was predominantly black. But a lot of people from up north moved into that area and other areas, and now it's kind of a suburb area and the place to be kind of area. Okay. So the police officers, they say okay, they go on their way, and I can't recall if they checked the other door for which I had informed them or advised them to do, because I was assuming that it was the neighbor across from me. There was a daughter and father that lived there, and I thought the daughter at the time was kind of off. Okay, but strangely enough, I can't recall if they did check. In fact, I don't think they did check. I think they just knocked on my door, and then they went back downstairs. And as they went back downstairs, I watched them get in the car. They sat in the car for about 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe 15 minutes, and then they drove off. Now, at this point, I'm being paranoid. I'm thinking, I might need to just keep my eyes and ears peeled and stay aware of my surroundings and be extra cautious because I feel like I'm being targeted. Okay. So, that was that's been those have been some of my experiences with police officers. And referencing the side note that I mentioned to you prior before, so I was at a house party. It was my friend's house party. They were kind of loud, and the police were called. My friend, his mother is a lawyer, and mind you, they live in a nice neighborhood. Okay, the mother, she's one of those high. I think she's one of those high profile lawyers. Okay, yeah, I think she is. Yeah, but regardless, so my friend's having a house party, and the police come in. The police open the door. They knock on the door, and my friend is standing there. And so the police said it's kind of noisy or something like that. They're having complaints. And one officer, he tries to step into the door. If I recall, I forget how it happened, but he tried to step in the door. Something along those lines. And my friend said, "Well, you need a search warrant in order to enter my house." And guess what the police officer did? He stepped into the house. Okay, he walked into the house, chest out like Superman, bold and brave. Okay. Now, at the time, I thought this was funny. I was naive. I didn't pay any attention, and I found it hilarious. But I didn't realize that it was a bigger problem, a bigger issue. Okay. I'm not sure if my friend ever told his mother that, because his mother probably would have roasted those lawyers. Would have roasted those police officers. But I'm not sure if my friend ever did mention it to his mom. But yeah, I've had those experiences as a black man growing up. In fact, for a lot of black men, it's a part of life. It's a part of our life. Now, that may not be every black male that is in America. Okay, not everyone, but the typical run of the mill. Driving the car or just under suspicion, the police will pull you over. Okay. Now, as a young man growing up, I have always heard stories, horrific stories of what police officers have done. Mind you, prime one example. One of my friends said that when his father was young, his father had got beaten up by the police in New York for no apparent reason. He didn't understand why. This black lady came out and saw it, and she said something to the police officers. So they went after the black lady and started beating her up. And from what my friend stated, his father said after they beat her down, they drug her off somewhere. They took her somewhere, and he said that his father never saw that woman again. But that woman saved his life. Okay. Another instance. Well, in that story, yeah, the guy kind of had it coming, because apparently he was a big time gangster or drug dealer. But I remember my bus driver saying that the guy somehow got caught by the police officers, and instead of arresting him, what they did was they took him to some area, dropped him out in the road, beat him down until he was almost unconscious, and then they started shooting him. And it got so bad that he would repeat what they were saying. He remembers everything that they said. They would shoot him, pow, 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 and say, "Wow, you still ain't dead," and would joke about it. Okay, now this had to be all these events were prior to these recent shootings. All these events happened way before I became an adult. So it kind of tells you what has been going on behind the scenes. Even Malcolm X stated that the media perpetuates this image of the black male being negative, being a beast, being a monster. and that a certain group of people, specifically white folks, are so gullible that they'll believe it, and it gives leeway to police to get away with a lot of things that they get away with. Now, Malcolm X said this, and this had to be back in the 60s. So this kind of gives you an idea as to how long this has been going on. Okay? Yes, it is definitely wrong. It's horrific, and they should be charged to the fullest extent, in my opinion. Because if a black male did that in the reverse, he would go through the same kind of thing. In fact, he would be dead before they could ever get him. He would be dead. Like the recent shooter in Dallas, they used a robot to kill him. Okay, like the other gentleman who went on the shooting spree, who were only targeting the LAPD. I forget his name. But he was only going after the LAPD. He was only targeting cops, and so they killed him. They didn't try to catch him. They didn't try to talk to him. They killed him. Okay. And his manifesto was that the police system was corrupt, and that there were a lot of racists. There were a lot of white supremacists and Ku Klux Klan members who were cops. Okay, and that was his reason for going after them. Okay. In fact, apparently the main officers who beat Rodney King, they were somehow connected in it as well. They were captains of the LAPD or something like that. Okay, but they killed him. They surrounded him in a house and burnt it down. But prior to that, at the same time, the cops were so trigger happy that the truck that he was suspectedly driving in, they shot up. And found out later that truck belonged to 2 black women, okay? And the cops paid them hush money. That was in the newspaper. So all this information I'm telling you now is nothing new. I mean, unless you're not reading the news. But, I mean, this has been going on since the dawn of the United States. It has been happening. It's sad, and it is truly pathetic. It is truly sad that a man, for a regular traffic stop, can be killed for a traffic stop can be killed for a traffic stop. It's sad, but it's a harsh truth. It's a harsh truth, and the best thing that I can tell you guys is live and learn. Learn from it. Life is a learning experience, no matter how hard, no matter how horrific, no matter how tough. You learn from your experiences and you grow. You grow. That's the only advice I can give you guys. Learn and grow from it, okay? And just know it's I can't even put it into words as to how to express it. But you don't have to fear for your life, but it's smart to be aware that your life can be taken from you at any moment, at any single time of the day. Any single time of the day, okay? Especially as a black man in America, okay? And it seems like I'm going to have to go into a part 3 of this, and the part 3 video is going to be pretty short, okay? So stay tuned for part 3.